Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds out his new wife has a kid and she's cheating on him with her ex-husband. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. I, 32 male, met my STBXW 27 at a product design company where we both worked. We never really said much to each other, but we had a good work relationship. After a while, I got a bigger offer from another company and I left the company. When I left the company, she started calling me to say she missed my presence at the office. We started hanging out and eventually became friends. After a couple of hangouts, I discovered that I had feelings for her and she had a lot of positives. She also liked me and was ready to start a family. Soon enough, we got married. Our marriage for the time was really great, and I was certain I had made the right decisions. She went back on the initial agreement of us starting a family and said she wanted to concentrate on work and upscale her skill set. I loved her too much to make a fuss about it. So I agreed to the new development. On the bright side, we would both have the house to ourselves for a very long time. I noticed that she was always going away to take a particular call. It had been going on since we got married, but I didn't think much of it then. But that one time 3 months ago, she was away from the phone when the call came in. I picked it up, and it was a little girl who said she wanted to talk to her mummy. I asked for her full name and deleted the call history. I did some searching with the surname on social media and saw photos of my wife with a young girl and another man. On opening the man's profile, I discovered a truth I didn't know. Apparently, she had been married before and even had a child who was staying with her father. That evening, I confronted her about it and we had a huge fight. She stormed out of the house and didn't come back for a week. I suspected that she had gone back to her family, so I hired a private investigator to follow her. The investigator confirmed my suspicions. He found her staying with her ex-husband and their daughter. He even got pictures of them together, cozy and kissing in their home. He said it's likely their affair had been on before we got married, which really begs the answer to the question why she married me in the first place. When my wife came back, I told her that I knew about her secret family and her affair with her ex. She tried to deny it at first, but then she faltered when she saw that I had proof. She said that she had never told me about her past because she was afraid that I would leave her. I told her I didn't care about her past. I couldn't be married to someone who cheats on me. I told her that I wanted to annul the marriage, but she said it wasn't going to happen. That I couldn't do that over this small matter. She said that she loved me and didn't mean to hurt me. Lies, all lies. I told the lawyer to proceed with the annulment processing, and while that was ongoing, I sold my house. It was mine. I informed her that I had sold the house and gave her the deadline to move out. On the day I moved out, she was on the yard, crying and pleading with me to give her one last chance. Neighbors were watching. Update. My STBXW has been staying with her friend because apparently it didn't work with her ex-husband. She had thought otherwise and is disappointed. He doesn't want the family back or anything like that. He had said that he can only bear to have her stay over for a few days, nothing more. Meanwhile, the annulment I filed for has been granted. I'm now in the process of moving on with my life. It's been really tough these last few months, but I'm feeling a whole lot better now. I hope that this attempt doesn't ruin my mindset on love and marriage. I hope that soon I'll be ready to start a family again. I'm sorry this happened to you, OP. Your ex-wife threw away the love you had for her for the possibility of restarting her old family with her daughter and ex-husband. She would have continued to use you as her safe net while she kept on testing the waters and seeing how far her relationship with her ex would go. This makes her very cruel to you. I'm glad you found out about her secret life when you did. This way, you wasted less of your time with her. You deserve better than a two-timer. I hope you'll find a good loving partner for yourself soon. Story 2. My wife, 27, and I, 26, have been married for 3 years after dating for another 3 years before that. No kids. Just to give you an idea of our personalities, she's very social and needs lots of affection. I'm more of a gamer and like to focus on things by myself. Of course, I try to balance our time together and we have lots of fun together. I am social enough and we like to go out together, but we do have moments where she says she wishes I communicated more. or paid more attention to her. And sometimes I wish she would respect my alone time a little more, or would just relax at home once in a while instead of wanting to go out all the time. About 1.5 years into our marriage, she met this guy her age, and was very open to me about him. She started talking about him a lot and introduced me to him and his group of friends at one point. She started hanging out a lot with this group of friends without inviting me. I got jealous and it made me upset, but she gave me convincing reasons not to worry. That she's just trying to make some friends in a new town. We had moved recently. It upset me that she would come home late without calling, but I tried to respect her personal space. Fast forward 1 year later or so, and the guy contacts me and asks to meet me in private. He tells me everything about their relationship. It has lasted about a year. I go home and feel sick for the rest of the day, waiting for my wife to get home so I can confront her and ask her everything that has happened. She comes home and we sit down together, and I ask her to tell me everything. She's willing to talk. Some important details came out of this conversation. I thought it had been a long continuous affair for the past year, but the way she explained it was more like an affair that happened a few times, and she had finally succeeded in ending. The way I understand it, the first few times it was an affair of passion. She decided to break it off, but she had an emotional crisis. She didn't come to me about her crisis because she didn't want to hurt my feelings and she wanted to have a chance to make things right. But the only person she could turn to about her crisis was the guy. And old emotions came back, and they relapsed into the affair. She broke it off again, and this time stopped contacting him. And he got frustrated and desperate, so he came to tell me everything. I'm not completely sure about his intentions, but in my mind I think it helped because we could all face the facts and talk about our emotions openly before making any decisions. During the affair, she had a personal crisis about our marriage. But by the end, she had rediscovered her love for me and renewed her personal commitment to be with me. So while my wife was ready to start again, I had just found out about the affair and I was shocked and disgusted. But I believed her. I had enough evidence to believe the facts about the duration of the affair, etc. It took me a few days of thinking, sleeping alone, and talking to a friend before I was able to start talking to her seriously again. I decided to give her another chance. I've seen a lot of people online say that people who cheat more than once will definitely cheat again. But for me, this was only one time. If she starts cheating again, I will reconsider our marriage. But to truly give her another chance, I have to believe in her. I only talked to one friend about this. If I am to give her another chance, I don't want all of my family and friends to judge her. Because of this, I feel I have no one to talk to. That's one reason I'm posting here. I just need to get this out there. About a month or more, not sure, has passed since I found out. We've had some of the same dumb arguments, complaints to each other, and moments where we don't communicate enough as usual, but also had some great times, deep conversations, and a reaffirmation of our sex life. I guess my question is, what do I need to do to make sure that I can trust her without letting her trust take advantage of me? And what can I do to improve the health of our relationship? For example, should we go to counseling? What does counseling do? Can we just work it out ourselves? What do I need to talk about with her? As Forrest Gump says, I'm not a smart man, but I hope I'm doing the right thing. I love and respect her, and I respect myself, so I don't want to hurt myself again. Update, 9 months later. Okay guys, so it's been a long time since my last update, and a lot has happened. Basically, where I last left off, I had accepted that staying married might not be the best choice for me. But she was keeping no contact, staying faithful as far as I know, and spending lots of time with me and going to counseling so we could give it an honest chance. So I went along with it too. I still enjoyed my time with her and remembered my love for her, though the future was uncertain. Still, she was not able to express her devotion to me, and it was really eating at me, but I couldn't quite get at it. She mentioned a few times that maybe it would help if we could live apart for a while so she could have time alone to think about it. I could only immediately respond each time that no, I cannot see how that will help us, and I don't know how I could come back from a separation. Some of you are probably like, how the F is he still with her after her flakiness and disrespect? He should have dumped her long ago. I see where you're coming from, and while I was putting up with her flakiness, I was ready to leave her the instant she pulled some shit, and she didn't. Okay, this is only as far as I know, but I don't think she did. So then I was about to receive a response about an interview for a new job, a pretty good career move. And I was hoping that our next counseling session would give us some good strategies to get closer before I started my new job if I was accepted. But during the counseling session, she made a wrong statement that I want to have a trial separation. I gave my reasons why I didn't think this was a good idea, but the counselor saw that this was her decision, and that if she was going to go through with it, we had to go through with it in the best way for both of us. I left the session thinking, WTF, we're going to have a separation. That was a huge moment. After I sifted through the confusion, I had a realization. I'm starting a new life, I'm getting a new job. I have friends, I have everything I need, and I don't need her. The next day, I told all my friends about the situation. I had held back before because I didn't want them to judge her as we worked through it. I told my friends that I now needed their support more than ever. They were with me 200%. I've never been so happy to have friends by my side. I went to one of my best friends, people I look up to, who just happened to have an empty room because of a girl that cheated on him that he kicked out. And I told him that I was leaving my wife and probably getting a divorce. He happily accepted me as a roommate anytime I wanted to move in with no limit on how long I stayed. I told my wife that the best thing for us is a divorce. I think she saw my piece in my statement and she accepted it. I can get more into this, for example, questioning that maybe she was just waiting for me to say this, or that I was letting her off easy by just letting her go. Whatever, feel free to speculate or analyze. I got accepted to my new job. Yeah, baby, enough said. It worked out that I got to go back home for a week before my new job. I live far from home and see my family. I announced my divorce and they showed their support. I also came out to my religious parents that I wasn't Christian anymore. I haven't been Christian for a long while, but never really told them explicitly. It was a big trip in a bunch of ways. I moved out. She and I amicably decided who keeps what. I took everything I wanted, don't worry, and soon after we finished divorce proceedings. We don't contact each other besides a couple of things related to the separation, forgetting some possessions at the apartment, etc. I could not be happier. I've worked through the grief for the past half year, so by now I'm more than ready to live a single life again and enjoy freedom. I've also gradually come to terms with the reason for the separation. My friends have stuck with me and are inviting me to all sorts of events and parties. And I'm not only feeling good with them, but also meeting lots of new people. I'm trying my best to flirt and meet girls, and while it hasn't been a complete failure, I haven't exactly brought home a girl yet. No hurry or anything, but I'm really eager to meet some nice girls right now. I really have a new outlook on how I want to go about this. When I met my ex-wife, I wasn't even looking for a girlfriend. Now, for the first time in my life, it is my goal to meet the most amazing girl in the world and someone I can really love. I did my best to give all my love to my ex-wife, but now I want to take full control from the start. Sure, there are lonely days, but I have so many great people around me and have already started building wonderful memories with my new life. I look forward to comments and, of course, criticism. Both the positive and negative meant a lot to me up to now. I will try to respond as time allows. Finally, if anyone going through a similar situation wants some advice, of course I'm no expert, but this is what I have to say. You will heal after the pain. It just takes time. Your happiness does not depend on someone else. You are responsible for your own happiness. Please refer to the book No More Mr. Nice Guy, available as a PDF if you Google search it. Couples can work things after infidelity. I would recommend looking it up on marriage forums. If you want to work things out after infidelity, you have to go to marriage counseling. However, cheating on your partner is one of the most hurtful things you can do. I, for one, have never been hurt like that in my life. I learned to cry, something I had forgotten for a long time, but it feels good, man. It's great that you're taking this well and moving on with your life, OP. I'm very happy for you. The new job will be great, and you'll have a world of possibilities ahead of you. I think the main thing to take away from situations like this is to remind yourself not to treat your next partners with suspicion. Because your previous one did bad things to you. Everyone's different. Good luck with everything.